EMC Studios. This is Old School. Brought to you by Sand Hills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into Old School on this gloomy, cold Friday morning. But hey, at least it's a Friday right here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. DP is here. Jay is still not here, out on the East Coast doing something, hanging out with family, I believe.
East Coast thing. Yeah, he's doing East Coast swing.
Rico, we are here. We're having fun, except for, DP's Nats lost, and he is you seem down. Like you say like you're fine, and they're gonna lose much more or whatever, but you seem a little distraught.
No, here's what was. I mean, they were. I'm gonna pull my Denny Green. They are who we thought they were.
But you have Alcides Escobar.
Well, he made two amazing plays last night, so we get that.
You're welcome.
But this team can't score runs. I mean, Soto just hits a 420-footer, and that's all he's scoring. Like, oh, we weren't, and you were home. Like, what a disappointment. Like, later in the game, there's a moment where it's all Mets fans just cheering. Yeah, in your park. So
yeah, I saw, whatever his name is, made his first start for the Mets. Is his first major league call-up, first start ever, opening day.
Out innings, just ball up.
There you go. Hey. And today, you get to face Max Scherzer.
Hey, that's I'm fine. Jeez. I'm fine. I'm the little kid.
Try and make DP's day better. Get a hold of us on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Join us on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Leave a comment, leave a joke, make DP smile. I'm not sad yet. The Yankees play today.
I'm fine.
They offered Aaron Judge the largest contract ever in Yankee history. Well, largest contract for a position player in Yankee history. We'll see what happens. They need to keep him. I just don't know how much they're going to pay him.
So what is?
They haven't released the number yet. They just said it'll be the largest contract ever for a position player in Yankees history.
In Yankees history.
Yes, in Yankees history, not MLB history.
Okay, so there's other.
Which a part of me still believes that the largest contract in Yankees history could still be the largest in MLB history. Like, right? That
could
seems
happen.
pretty up there.
That could happen.
Yankees are known to pay a lot.
I don't know. I want. It's weird that now that we know how much everybody's paid, it takes away from how much I appreciate them as players. Is that wrong?
No, I get it.
Is that wrong? That to go like everything becomes about how much they're paid rather than
it's always you're getting paid this much. Why are you performing at this level?
Like, and we've always known
you're getting paid this much. Why are you complaining about this?
Or no, actually, the truth is we haven't always known. As
long as I've been alive, you've known. So
but everything's electronic now, so the information's there. There was some romance to it with me as a kid growing up, because we didn't know how much they were being paid. Like, we didn't know. I had no idea how much the thing was.
You just knew that they were there,
and until somebody asked to be traded or something, right?
Or if they were performing terribly.
Well, no, it would come up like when Reggie Jackson went from Oakland to Baltimore. So he was in Baltimore for a year, which may have been one of my more favorite years.
Do people remember that?
I remember because we would go every weekend just to go see Reggie play.
Is that the forgotten Reggie year?
Close.
I feel like a lot of players have a forgotten year, and that's Reggie's year.
Reggie had like Strawberry has Ricky Henderson had like 8 forgotten years.
Mhm.
Like people forget that Ricky was in Toronto.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
He was only in Oakland. That is it.
Like I mean,
He only
played
played
for
for
the
the A's.
Yankees. He played for the Yankees. You
Nope.
know, Dodgers. He was everywhere.
No,
right?
just the A's.
Padres. Like Ricky.
You
was
have
everywhere.
those. You have those guys. They have a certain jersey. That's it.
Well, I'm that way with football players. Like Art Monk was once blasphemed and wore an Eagles jersey, and I don't know. I didn't know.
Emmitt
how.
Smith may have set the record in a Cardinals jersey, but
Yeah,
he was
I mean
never
Gary
in a
Clark,
but he was never in a Cardinals
to
jersey.
the Cardinals and the Dolphins, and I was like, "What is going on, dude? I can't go with you there." Like
It's fake.
and then I did.
LaDainian
and then I went to Phoenix and hung out.
LaDainian Tomlinson was never a Jet.
Right, like it's just those things shouldn't happen, but they did, and then it was when you found out that somebody was going to move because of money, right? Because there's a stretch where I mean players were remarkably underpaid, like fantastically underpaid. So it was never really a thing, and then all of a sudden the boom hit, and everybody got more money. And then it became such a part of the conversation. It's going to be weird because it's going to happen in college sports at some point. Like
right now, you're just getting estimates on like, well, so and so made $1 million, and there's that thing that they keep saying Quinn Ewers made $1 million at Ohio State, and I've seen multiple like writers, what is it, recruiting writers and stuff like that. They're like, he didn't make $1 million. He made close. He made 6 figures, but he did not make $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, but it sounds better to just say he made $1 million and then he went to Texas.
Right.
Like that's all people are. They're like, oh, he made $1 million.
Well, so, and I don't know if I have the feeling that it evolves to that if somebody he's transferring from a
How much is he going to
a $100,000 NIL deal to a $500,000 NIL deal, or is he going to transfer from and look, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
this is going to happen. That you're going to have some kid whose family doesn't have money, right? And he's okay, he's good, maybe even great, and he's in a good program, maybe even great. But then one of the big wigs are going to come around and go, listen, we'll take care of your family through an NIL deal.
Are they going to have to put some protections on like kind of, what's the word I'm like,
how can you?
Like when a coach talks to a player that's not on his team and tries to like talk him into what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I haven't had. I need to sip my coffee. That's
I don't know. But are they going to be able to like you said, tampering? I don't know how you would, but are they going to try and put some type of rules on where like some billionaire let's just say some billionaire
Texas.
from Texas?
That's the one that comes to mind right away.
Can't go to the starting receiver at
Alabama.
Alabama, Oklahoma State, and just be like, hey, so I know you're making $500,000 here, but I have $700,000 in waiting for you down at Texas if you put on the burnt orange.
Well, the thing about it, where the boundaries are going to come in, one, who can do that? Two, what happens to the money that was put in play by the previous school? Right, because nothing's going to piss off a Nebraska fan who. They put in somebody with $100,000 in NIL money to have them then go to Iowa because Iowa put up $500,000 because the $100,000. Well, I want my money back.
Like imagine I
want my money back, and they're gonna go, nope, that was for last year.
Like imagine Joe Blow, receiver for Nebraska. You're a big wig NIL dealer, and you're giving this kid $50,000, and everybody else giving him however much he ends up making $200,000, right? You give him $50,000, and then after that season, he's like, you know what? I'm going to transfer to Wisconsin.
It's going to happen.
Like how pissed are these guys, these people going to be that are giving these, they want to see these kids be successful, obviously, and they're not doing this to just pay the players, but they're doing this because they believe in these players. They want them to be successful. They want them to be good. They want them to play for their university, obviously. But how angry are these people going to be if you're giving
Well,
this
you
person
can't.
money
They're
and then
not
they're
going to
just
be
like,
able
okay,
to.
bye.
You can't do that because that's not how this thing is set up. That's not why you're supposed to be doing it in the first place.
Well, that's exactly how it's.
Well,
yeah.
but
It's
again,
supposed to be there. You're giving it to them so that they will be a part of your brand or whatever. Show up, do appearances at whatever business you own. But there are people who are just like, hey, I really like you. I think you're great. Here's 50,000, and maybe you send a tweet out about my business, once a month.
Well, but that's between the player and
the person
and the person
dealing with it,
right? Because we also know that the university has its conglomerate of power check writers, right? And their job is to step in and fulfill those things as needed, whenever that is, for whatever program that is. Now, the university can put some boundary in place for how those check writers are going to engage, but imagine that the University of Nebraska tries to control the check writers. That's not how that works. That's not the power. That's not how the power set up.
Isn't that what the universities are not just Nebraska? I don't know if Nebraska, but I thought I heard something that the universities are trying to be able to have some of it go through the university so that there's
but
more
even if
control that way.
Even if it goes to the university. So let's say I decide that I want to support the university in that way. And then I say how much, because they can't tell me how much to give them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I say, well, I'm going to give you $100,000. But I want it to be specific to certain programs or certain type of players.
I want this $100,000 to go to the softball team.
Right? You can say that.
Yeah.
And then they can say, well, this is what we're going to do. But then it may not be enough to get done what you're trying to get done. So then I could say, well, you know what? I'm going to reach out to X player to lean on a little more heavily, because it bypasses the 100. Now, the softball team's not going to say no to that.
No.
And they certainly can't control me.
No.
So,
because then instead of going through the university, you go through the player who ends up going through currently with Nebraska, Open Doors.
The university is going to have to, universities across the country are going to have to set their own boundaries, right? Their own boundaries. And then the people within the programs are going to have to set their own boundaries. But the real boundary setter is going to be the parents. The parents. Because the parents will be in place to say yes or no. Now, remember, this is America. So there are different economic pockets around the country.
Yes.
And there are people who need the money and people who don't need the money. Now, the people who need the money are going to work from a different place than the people who have money but are simply doing business. Like they're doing business. Like I would imagine, can you imagine the Mannings with NIL?
Well, they're going to go through it.
Well, they're going to go through it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Again.
Right. They're going to go through it again. Well, they went through it before, because there's no way you get Archie to Ole Miss.
There's no way, Eli to Ole Miss and Peyton to Tennessee.
Right,
there's no way that should happen.
There's no way
the Manning should have gone to different colleges. That should not. They all played quarterback. There's no way they should have gone to different colleges.
Money everywhere.
Peyton should not have been at Tennessee.
That's such a monumental fail.
Ole Miss is like, damn it.
That's just a fail. That's because
we'll go after Eli.
Well, because you saw Blindside. That's why that happened. There's
no way I know he's from South Carolina. There's no way Jadeveon Clowney should have gone to South Carolina.
Like you go through all of these different steps in the process. And what I think will end up happening is this. I think they will go back and revisit the protocol for engagement and tracking. Right? Go make your money, Junior, but the tracking for it should be there should be transparency in the tracking. And then the boundaries for when you engage that person. Right? Because at some point we've got to give 18, 19, 20-year-olds an opportunity to just be 18, 19, 20-year-olds and not be constantly under the scope of, hey, here's a bag of money. Hey, here's a bag of money.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a bigger bag of money.
Does-
Hey, here's a satchel of money. Hey, here's a body bag full of money. Here's a here's a
How much money is 190 pounds?
right. Like that's like you're.
I want my body weight
right
in $100 bills.
right. Like I mean, but this is gonna happen. Here, this is. I mean, and we'll stay in this space. Like we'll stay in this
offensive
space.
lineman we get paid.
Right. Like we'll stay in this space. But imagine this. Let's say Nebraska, through its own doing and motivation, has $10 million in NIL money, right? And then they'll have to decide where that money goes. So what programs, what players, right? Right?
I don't like that.
But no, this is why I want to have the discussion, because this is going to happen.
I don't like that.
Right?
If the university has say over who and what program gets the money, I don't like it.
No, they have it. They have their boosters now.
Why not? They do.
Well, they've said Nebraska's already said
It's not supposed to
we
go
have
through
we have the greatest NIL resources of anybody in the country.
It's true,
right? They said
well,
that.
I don't know if it's true. They say it's true.
They say it's true, right? So let's imagine, for the sake of this, we know that Nebraska's not doing anything at $1 million.
No,
right? That's not what we're talking about.
No,
they didn't get $1 million out of. They got a bunch of million.
Too low.
They got a bunch of million.
Add more zeros.
Now, how many positions on the football field are required for you to be at the top level and be successful in the Big Ten? So quarterback, you need a stud receiver, maybe two.
At least one.
Right. Running back.
At least two.
Right. So at some point we need to come up with, at 9 o'clock, what we'll do, we're going to come up with the list of what it's going to cost in NIL for each position at the University of Nebraska. Right.
Do you need a stud quarterback in the Big Ten? Because it seems like you don't.
Well, ask Ohio State, who constantly has a stud quarterback.
Well, yeah.
Well, so that's the standard.
But they also have at least 4 stud receivers and at least 2 stud running backs. So do you need the stud quarterback?
No.
Look at Georgia.
No, you do. Well, those are studs.
That's not the Big Ten.
They're still studs, though. They're still studs, though.
I mean, yes.
Okay, so imagine coming up with a list of what Nebraska will have to be able to offer a 4-star, 5-star player at each position, right? And then figure out what that number is. And then tell me that Nebraska does or does not have that number. And then when they do, does that change it? Because now Nebraska, again, with all the money that they have, if you were going to do business as folks are doing business, Nebraska has the resources and access to put $10 million a year into an NIL package that gets you the 4- and 5-star players. There's no excuse for Nebraska not to have 4 and 5-star. Yeah, we know that the money. Look,
is just solely NIL money enough to get the 5-star players?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
If you're no, hold on. If it's between Nebraska and Alabama, Nebraska's offering you $300,000. Alabama's offering you $100,000.
So if you have no $100,000 in your bank account,
but think about it, $100,000 you play at Alabama, you have a greater chance of making more than $100,000 halfway through the year or in that second year, and easily
because at Alabama,
3 years down the road.
At Alabama, there's 40 people who make $100,000.
Yeah, but you make $100,000 that year, you make $100,000 next year, and then your third year you're going to be starting. If you keep being that 5-star that you are, you're going to be starting, and then you're going to go to the NFL as a first-round pick because they all are.
The same thing applies.
Are you going to be a first-round pick? Are you going to go to the NFL?
If you're legitimately a 5-star, you're going to be a 5-star, and that thing's going to carry you through your entire college career. But remember that not everybody has the money.
If you're the 5-star and you don't have the other 5 stars around you to constitute the success that would lead you to being more successful and getting paid in the NFL, is that all going to work out?
So Patrick says, according to Google, 490 $100 bills equal a pound. Uh-huh.
All right.
$9 million in
Yeah, Eric said roughly 8.51 million, and then Patrick says around 9 million. Yeah. I would like my body weight in $100 bills, please and thank you.
Believe it or not, I mean, this is the point that we're going to have to deal with as we talk about this thing. The university wants it to go through. This is from the text line. University wants it to go through them so they can funnel off the top. Now, don't we wish that wasn't true? But do we believe that it's not true?
No. No, it's going to happen here. And I know I know you like saying, we're talking about Nebraska. It's going to happen here. It's going to happen at Iowa. It's going to happen at Alabama. Wherever you are, if NIL ends up going through the university is going to keep some of that itself.
It's going to be.
It's going to happen.
This is going to be remarkable. Like I said, but I want to kind of get ahead of it. We got recruits in town. Now's the time to talk about it.
Keep those satchels to yourselves.
Yeah, right. Body bag.
O'Shawn Mathis weighs 245 pounds.
Get your
Patrick, Eric, 245 pounds and $100 bills. Go. We'll hit that next on Old School.
Yeah.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
I have a proposal. You do not have to buy me a cap if we find the fight song I'm talking about and you hum it into the microphone.
What if I don't know how it goes?
Well, we'll find it.
Yeah, that's it.
Good job, you found it.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. Have you ever wanted to build a catapult? Have you ever wanted to launch something other than water balloons with a water balloon launcher? Do you want to be a national champion? Then you need to get a team and sign up for the National Avocado Launching Championship, May 21st in North Platte. That's right, the National Avocado Launching Championship is taking place right here in Nebraska. Launch avocados for fame and glory. Sign up at avocadolaunching.com. That is avocadolaunching.com. And remember, the top prize is $5,000.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Windy conditions again today, but not quite as bad as yesterday. Northwest winds gusting over 35, close to 40 at times. Should top out near 51 with mainly sunny skies. Clear and chilly tonight, dropping to 25 for the low. A nice rebound tomorrow for your Saturday with a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Join us this Friday at Barry's Bar and Grill from 3 to 8 for a spring game preview and hangout. Our regular shows go until 6 o'clock, and then we'll have a special 2-hour session with Nebraska football players on location until 8. It's the spring game preview and hangout this Friday at Barry's Bar and Grill.
Spring is on its way. Are you prepared to keep the grass greener on your side? Blades Lawn and Landscape is awaiting your call if you're looking to change services for your homeowners association or anything else for residential or commercial jobs. Transform your yard into a private oasis with the professional services offered by Blades Lawn and Landscape. Call them today at 402-730-6320 or go to bladeslcc.com to schedule a free estimate on commercial or residential lawn services. Blades Lawn and Landscape.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meat, The Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Get a hold of us. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Me and DP are sitting here arguing, not really arguing. We're kind of agreeing, but also having differing opinions on NIL and what'll happen if it ends up going through universities as opposed to the outside businesses that it's currently going through. And not if it'll become bidding war for transfers and recruits. I still think it's fine. I still think paying players is the right idea, but
yeah, I mean, it really is.
It's just going to get interesting.
Well, no, because there was feet dragging going on, and instead of getting out in front in the truest sense, like Nebraska was ahead of most.
Mm-hmm.
But even Nebraska still got caught off guard with how quickly this thing was going to take off. And to what degree. So, yeah, at 9 o'clock, we'll go through some of the different conversations over what local businesses are being doing. As a matter of fact, Sam McEwen reached out Monday to ask if I would meet with him next week, talk about NIL deals for student athletes. So we'll have that conversation next week. He'll send folks in to take pictures and they'll do a piece. But my thing was like, and how we do business in that space. I see what everybody else is doing. My thing is to keep it consistent and have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I involve parents. Like we involve parents. Part of it because we involve parents, which,
is it still, does the NIL thing, do you have to sign contracts? Because I don't think you can sign a contract until you turn like 19, right?
Yeah, so through all of the young people that we deal with at the station, I've talked. That's why we have.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why
we have the parents on the show.
Yeah.
So we can work those things out directly.
Because the parents have to okay it. That's why I'm saying. Like,
they don't have to okay, but they should. My thing, that's just an ethics and character thing for me.
Yeah,
is that I want the parents of the young people to know who I am, who we are, and what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's how simple. I haven't had any. We don't have any NIL situations in place where the parents aren't
okay with it.
The parents are part of the deal early on. So that's the way it's done for me. But I can't speak to how everybody's doing it, but I can speak to how we do it, which is.
I think that's the right way to do it.
Well,
because if you're just, if you're a parent of a volleyball player and the next thing you know, your kid is out endorsing something and you're just like, wait a minute, what happened here? We didn't talk about this. Maybe it's something that you don't like, or I don't know, but you can't really, the NIL isn't really for stuff like that. I don't believe so, but I don't know. I think the parents should be involved.
Well, we're not asking young people to be involved in those sorts of things.
No.
So that's a big deal. What they do on their own outside of this space, that's between them and mom, right? That's between them. It's not even between them and the university. It's between them and mom and dad. Like, what boundaries have we set in place? So that'll be an interesting part of the discussion as we go forward. So, but tell us what's up and then give me some music. Woke up this morning and I got out of bed, had a big
get on down and tell me what up with that. Ooh-wee. What up with that? What up with that? Ooh-wee. What up with that? What up with that? He said, she said, we said, Lee said, what up with that? Who knew, you knew, said what, who do, what up with that? What up with that?
It's great.
Whatever.
It's great. I think I convinced my sister to be a Nuggets fan yesterday.
Why?
She texted me and she said, I want to be a basketball fan. What team should I root for? My friends are telling me to root for the Suns or the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, those are the teams that were in the championship last year. So I mean, that's not bad. And then I gave her some options. And, I was like, what are we looking for? History, a young team, a fun team. What was this? And I told her, I was like, I root for the Knicks, but they break my heart every year. She's like, that's too much drama for me. I was like, I get it.
Fair.
I was like, Hornets, Bucks, Suns, Nuggets. I gave her all these options. She's like, the Hornets blue is too much. She couldn't do that. She goes, the Nuggets seem interesting, though. And then I just sent her like 5 gifs of Nikola Jokic being a weirdo. And she's like, what is this? I said, this is their best player. He's the reigning MVP. He's a 7-footer. He's amazing. He's beautiful. And she's like, why is he so big? He's 7 feet, 285 pounds. I go, yeah, but look at him. He looks like a puppy. And she's like, you know what? This is enough. I think I'm a Nuggets fan. She said she goes to USD, University of South Dakota, and she said the women making that run in the tournament really just she just enjoyed it so much that now she wants to watch basketball. I think I also got her to be a Las Vegas Aces fan with me. It's our WNBA team.
Nuggets.
Yep. That's the team she chose.
That's the team you sold.
I sold a bunch of teams,
No,
and
that's the
she
team
said
you sold.
that was one of the teams I put on the list, and she said the Nuggets seem fun. So then I gave her Nikola Jokic. I wasn't going to give her Boston. I wasn't going to give her Brooklyn. I wasn't going to give her the Lakers.
Something convenient to her.
Denver is convenient to her. What? What's wrong with the Nuggets?
They're the Nuggets.
What's wrong with the Nuggets?
They're the Nuggets.
This is just because you were in Utah for so long.
No.
You just don't like the Nuggets.
I don't.
You and your slight Jazz affiliation.
Slight?
Exactly.
Slight.
I got you.
Slight.
Mr. I ran on a treadmill with Karl Malone.
Yeah.
That's why you don't
which
like the
I fully
Nuggets.
regret. That would be why I wouldn't like the Jazz. That's why they're like, all right, that would not be.
You set yourself up.
All right.
That's only part of my what's up. The other what's up is, I'll make it really quick. ESPN mic'd up Joey Votto during opening day, and I think we need more of it.
Yeah.
We need more mic'd up players during
Although
baseball.
they'll say no, but we'll
I mean, they definitely will. But I don't care.
Okay.
9 o'clock hour on Old School up next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Windy conditions again today, but not quite as bad as yesterday. Northwest winds gusting over 35, close to 40 at times. Should top out near 51 with mainly sunny skies. Clear and chilly tonight, dropping to 25 for the low. A nice rebound tomorrow for your Saturday with a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
The voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr.
Rhonda Revelle, especially when she has a good power hitter like Billy Andrews, she tends to hit him a little higher in the lineup. And we saw this some last year with Tristan Edwards. Teams were so locked in on pitching around her Rhonda Revelle said, okay, well, if you're going to pitch around her, then you're going to start that first inning, beat off base runner. And also, Billy Andrews is a great athlete.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Junior, hurry it up in there. Honey, he's doing it again.
Doing what again?
Practicing for American Idol in the shower. I need in there.
Well, MemberZone is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We could use the value of the house to
Add a second bathroom? Say no more.
From adding another shower to all of life's in-betweens, you're headed in the right direction with a MemberZone home equity line of credit. Learn more at memberzonecu.org. Restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The spring game weekend doesn't just stop on Saturday. Make plans to stop by the Husker Sports Memorabilia Show on Sunday at Superior Bingo Hall on 48th Street. The show goes from 9 to 5 on Sunday with Heisman winner Mike Rozier and current Husker football players signing autographs from noon to 2. There's tons of Husker items to buy as we wrap up spring football and head into the offseason. It's the Husker Sports Memorabilia Show on Sunday, April 8th from 9 to 5 at Superior Bingo Hall on North 48th Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, brought to you by Sandhills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour 2 of Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. It's a good time. It's a good time. Old School, sponsored by Sandhills Global. Sandhills Global is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling, sports software development, web design, and more. Career and internship opportunities are available at the global headquarters in Lincoln. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. You can get a hold of us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch on our live video stream brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, or shoot us a text, give us a call. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Jay sent me a mock draft the other day, and I brought it up to DP, and DP doesn't believe it.
No.
It's a terrible mock draft.
Awful.
Awful. It has Derek Stingley going number 11 to Washington, and DP does not like it.
I just like simple. Like get me the guys that you want. Like don't
Garrett
be cute.
Wilson goes two picks later.
Don't be cute. Don't be cute. There are no reaches when you're but this is what bad teams do. Bad teams reach and try to create something of a thing that isn't necessary. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Give me.
I mean, Kenny Pickett goes number 6 to Carolina in this mock draft.
Yeah, but we don't know who this person is. I don't know. I have no idea who this new person
I don't know who he is either. His name.
Okay, so but here's the thing. I'm not gonna make a name. I'm not gonna give this dude that kind of shine.
Okay, we will give his name.
I don't need to no.
Okay.
No. I don't.
It's not a good mock. It's not a good mock draft.
Yeah, I mean
it's very weird.
Yeah, I mean it's great to laugh at, but other than that, I really got nothing for it.
It had some extremely solid players going in like the 6th round.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm like I don't know what's happening here.
People yelling from the rafters about what they think is going to happen. They don't talk to anybody. They don't know anybody. It's just like there. Part of what brought up the NIL deal earlier, and there's a thing that there's a hashtag that actually exists. It's hashtag. It's NIL Nebraska.
Nebraska or
Nebraska.
NIL Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Love it.
Right. All set up through the College of Business, and it collaborated with Nebraska Athletics and the colleagues across campus to offer Accelerate, one part of Nebraska, created to help student athletes maximize their NIL potential. Features business, entrepreneurial, and strength-based education, coaching, advising, etc. A couple of things also in play here, right? That Nebraska, the Trevor Alvarez lauded the deal earlier this year in the deal that Nebraska struck that will assist student athletes with profiting from those new rules. And the Brander Group is the group that will empower our student athletes to elevate their personal brands as well as their broader Husker brand, right? So there is a pairing of Nebraska, the university, the program itself, and its young people to go through and do these things. There are several things in place that are done specifically from Nebraska and within the ranks of Nebraska and their resources. So my point in saying that it becomes interesting to me to get out front of how we look at it is because if the university is active, matter of fact, they've been proactive in creating opportunities for student athletes and in collecting and accumulating support, financial supporters from around the program and its boosters and otherwise, that if the fan base accepts that, right, that Nebraska is doing this thing, right, which Nebraska said they've said that this is what we're doing, and from their own words, like we're ahead of the game, via open doors and all the contacts and otherwise, that if they're functional in it, you have the opportunity to change programs, to actually change the location elevation of program.
Yeah.
If I asked you and the listeners, how many quality players, top level players would be required on the roster of Nebraska basketball for them to change their place and be a factor in basketball, right? How many players?
3.
Okay. Now, what number do we think those players would want in NIL deals to consider Nebraska?
3.
3 million?
No. Well,
$1 million? 300,000? 100,000? What's the number?
300,000.
Okay. So that number accumulates to under $1 million.
Yes.
To change the level location,
$900,000.
right, of Huskers basketball.
Yes.
So why aren't you doing that?
Who's saying they haven't tried?
I do. This is why I want to have the conversation. To go through in this day and age that you can change your program's place, location, elevation.
Is 300,000 too low?
I think it opens the door,
At
right?
a program like Nebraska, you have to offer more money.
You should,
because
right?
at a program like Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina,
They're going.
They don't have to. They're going to offer you money, but they don't have to offer as much because they can just offer the. If you're a program changer, it's 1 year. You will have success, and you will go on to make much more than you're going to make.
Let's see. Don't regurgitate what somebody else said. Picture this for a second. That Duke is paying this whatever this magical amount.
Mm-hmm.
Duke's paying it now. They're paying it now.
But do you have to pay more if you're Duke, do you have to pay more for a 5-star?
If that's why you're Duke, is that you're already paying the 5-star what nobody else is doing.
But if it's between Duke and Nebraska, does Duke have to pay more? If Nebraska offers 400,000, does Duke have to offer 5 or can Duke offer 4 or 3?
Nebraska's going to have to offer more.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're Duke, you don't have to offer as much. I'm
So
not saying
what
you
is
don't have
that
to offer
number?
a lot.
What is the number that Nebraska has to offer to get high quality players to consider Nebraska?
50,000 more than the other schools?
Well, so
whatever they're offering.
And also remember that Duke is an outlier and that Duke academically requires different things than some of the other programs.
Okay,
right?
let's keep it Big Ten centric. Let's
Okay.
go
Michigan.
I was gonna say Wisconsin or Iowa. We'll just keep it on the Big Ten West.
Okay.
Because Michigan is its own. Michigan is not Duke, but they're their own thing.
They've got Jordan money, so
yeah, they've got Jordan money and Juwan Howard.
Right.
Like, they're their own thing.
Right.
We'll go Wisconsin with Wisconsin and Iowa.
Right.
You're gonna have to offer more than them. I don't know how much they're offering, but you definitely can.
Remember,
you definitely can.
You through their own words, they are in fact offering more services and have more insight to this thing. They put more time and resources in it. So whatever that number is, now let's say you have to double what Michigan would offer, right?
Yeah.
Right. Whatever that
easily.
Whatever that
you would have to.
Right. Whatever that thing is, but you can.
Yeah. If Michigan's at 3, you can offer 6.
Right. You can.
Do you want to offer 6 to one person
to change the perspective of football and basketball?
How much is too much? Is there a too much?
I don't know that there's a too much. Like Nebraska fans would pay themselves more to beat Wisconsin and Iowa in football.
Well, football, there is no too much.
And football and basketball.
Basketball, is there a too much? Because the support for basketball, people admit it, but the support for basketball is nowhere near the support for football. So is there a level in which a basketball player is asking for too much, and some of the boosters would be like, you know what, we can go get somebody who's maybe a little bit lesser for less money.
You don't want to get into the mindset of doing lesser.
Well, no, you don't want to, but that's what I'm saying.
Stop.
Is that a thing?
I would think that Husker basketball fans would go through fire and brimstone to get a good basketball team. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Right? That there are people tied to the program or around the programs or around the university who would want to be able to go to PBA and have it be that place and then be able to go to NCAA tournaments and win a Big Ten or play to win a Big Ten tournament conference championship, right? So what is that thing?
How much? I want to ask the Nebraska basketball fans on the text line and listening wherever you're listening from, how much would you pay? You have the money. You're a big booster. How much would you pay for Nebraska to get 3 high-level players on their basketball team who can change the location of this program? A big man, a scoring wing, and a true point.
Like we know that Big Ten success in basketball revolves around a big man.
Yeah,
right.
You haven't had it. So it's a 7-footer who
has the weight, can move around in the post and do the things he needs to do. He's a great rebounder and a rim protector. You've got a scoring wing who can shoot from outside. And he's a pretty solid defender as well. And then you have a true point guard who will make everybody better.
See, this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because to figure out how to improve each of the programs that we're talking about, we have to know what steps we need to take, like what positions need to be filled, what skill type, what type of athlete, what type of student athlete, what type of all those things, right? And then we hope that we can move this stuff in that direction. Craig says we need to Husker basketball needs to offer 6 figures to starters and the next 2 off the bench per year. Yeah, I that's why I want to, like, what is
that's how much,
right? Like,
what do you need to pay? How many do you need? Like, if Nebraska basketball was paying 6 figures to their 5 starters, that is 3 5-stars and 2 high 4-stars. Like, that's what you're doing if that's 6 figures to each starter. But if you only,
but I don't know that it's 6 figures. It might be 7. Well,
7
everywhere else,
for 5 starters.
what Texas is doing. I mean, Texas is doing $1 million.
Yeah. Kentucky,
right? I mean, this thing is out there, right? This thing's out there. Like, we're not talking about recreating the wheel. This thing exists now as we talk about it. It always has.
So I want Jake in this because he's a basketball guy.
I'll ask Jake, because Jake would be a good.
Just tie that up and leave that there. I'll take it out in the next break.
To tell you what we'll do. We'll throw it to break and we'll come back. I want to bring Jake in.
Okay.
And I think having Jake in this discussion would help have the discussion.
Yeah. He's the basketball guy.
Right.
The Nebraska basketball guy.
Right. Okay. So actually, Jake, we're gonna go to break and then we're gonna bring you back in and have you be a part of this discussion, because NIL is, look, if you don't have full grasp and advantage to what it is, then doing the business that's required becomes more difficult. So I want to get simple in what are we trying to accomplish in these programs, what resources are there, and how to use those resources to quickly do the things that we want it to do, or that the university wants it to do. So we'll go to break. We'll come back. Jake will join us. We will have this discussion because I think, again, this is a big weekend. Spring games tomorrow. The recruits all over the place. Hopefully the plan is in effect.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one, so make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In boys baseball on Wednesday, Norris beat Omaha Westside easily 10-2. In boys soccer on Thursday, Lincoln Lutheran, Lincoln North Star, Lincoln High, and Lincoln Southwest all postponed their games due to bad weather. Number 6, Lincoln Southeast won over Lincoln High in soccer 4-0 despite extreme winds. Taya Ryan was the leading scorer for Lincoln Southeast with 2 goals. In recent news, the NSAA Board of Directors have passed 2 proposals that will change baseball, especially the playoff schematics. Starting in 2023, there will be a Class A, B, and a newly established Class C in baseball. There will also be a new baseball playoff format. Teams will be seeded and grouped into pair of 4-team double elimination brackets. The two champions from each side of the bracket will face each other in a single game championship. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Join us on Saturday for our spring game tailgate show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. We'll be there from 10:30 to 1 as we preview the day ahead. It's the Spring Game Tailgate Show, sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union, A1 Automotive, and EP Foundation Repair from Tipsy Tina's at 8th and Q.
Back to old school with DP and J.
Welcome back to Old School, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. DP, Rico, Jake here. We're talking NIL. We're talking Nebraska ball. DP has a question for our resident Nebraska ball expert, Jake Sorensen. Take it away.
So through NIL and through this university's resources, accesses, and influence, what I would ask you, Jake Sorensen, is if we were functional, purposeful in how we used NIL resources. So let's say there's 20 local businesses in the state of Nebraska that want to support football program, right? Through NIL. And we say, listen, we've got a company, we've got access, we've got money. If you pick 20 businesses and said, would you support a player so we can get him here on campus for the football program? So 20 players. Let's say those players each required $100,000. You'd be okay with that, right?
Well, I think the plans are already in place for that to happen.
Okay. So let's say
they're trying to be ahead of this a little bit with ABM.
Nebraska and ABM.
Yeah,
and,
ABM,
right?
absolutely.
Right. So then that number, what if that number's $200,000? Right?
Well,
it's still not an outreach. It's still not, we're not out kicking our coverage.
No.
So if you have those resources in place, you have those connections in place, you have those agreements and partnerships in place, structurally, it would only take, how many players on the football team would it take to change Nebraska football?
Well, it depends on I always talk about what's the motivation for the players. Is it just to get paid out of high school or to transfer here from a TCU like an O'Shawn Mathis? Are they motivated to perform and win? I don't know. The motivation is, to me, I don't know. I can't tell you when that comes into play.
So there are
more important to them.
There are players who don't have any money.
Right. Can't you see that being a problem in the locker room, though, if some guys are getting paid and others aren't?
This is America.
I don't think that. I really don't think
this is not the
that's
NFL, though. This
is America.
But that's been a question for a long time. I really don't think that's going to be an issue in the locker room because the players understand, like the guys in the locker room understand who the face of the program is going to be, who the person who's really out there is.
So Jake, and I'll say this as professionally as we can say that. Not everybody in this building makes the same amount of money. Is there any resentment? No. People in this building create their own space. Like America's always worked on. It's never been equal. Like I was absolutely the poorest guy on my high school teams. I was the poorest guy on my college team. There's no resentment because that's just the way it works.
Mm-hmm. Like the offense.
I bring it up because of this, because we're in a place now where this is new as of this past year. NIL is in place. When in the past, maybe there was stuff below the table that was being taken for money, but everybody was working from the same point.
It's never been never been the same. It's not one point in sports history in America has it ever been equal and the same. Not ever, and it won't ever be. This my whole point to this is we can get some boundaries and structures in place about how we think about it and talk about it, but it's never been equal. It's never been equal. You can go back to Alabama back with Bear Bryant. He will tell you it wasn't equal. And then when he found out that it wasn't equal because other schools were bringing in black players, he said, you know what? I need my people to write some checks so I can get me some black players. It's always been that way. Notre Dame's, again, worked from its own system. Texas worked from its own system. It's never been fair. But here's a chance for everybody to use resources the same way. What I'd want is that Nebraska be proactive in how it does it.
I think they are being proactive.
Okay.
The question I am, as people would know, I am very still curious about NIL, and it's fine. You're allowed to be on both sides of the spectrum. You guys are totally in favor for it. I am still
iffy,
very iffy, because here's a scenario too. Let's say, for example, we know Casey Thompson's on here on a big deal to come to Nebraska. It's out there. We don't know the money, but we know it's significant to come here. Now, if you are Scott Frost or Mark Whipple, you feel pretty heavily inclined to make sure that guy plays. What if there's an issue and he gets outplayed by Logan Smothers or Chubba Purdy, who aren't getting that
That's
kind
not
of
the
money?
focus. The focus is for you to win. Listen, Mark Whipple hasn't done anything.
Yeah, you can say that right now.
Mark Whipple hasn't done anything for Nebraska yet either.
I know.
And nobody's complaining about the money he gets. Like Scott Frost you remember, he was in Central Florida. He was not here doing the work. Like we talk about coaches and athletes, student athletes. There are professionals, and then there are people who are being taught to be professional. They're here to learn from the paid professionals. The kids that come in that have additional value to the program. And Nebraska said openly, we need Casey Thompson and his swagger and his arrogance and his athletic ability in our program because it's going to help us get through the next 6 months, right? If we're walking through this thing without Casey Thompson to talk about, the conversation narrative is entirely different. Like Nebraska understood we need a dude that we can shine the light on because we don't have a quarterback that we can shine the light on. We like Logan Smothers. If he turns out being the guy, wonderful. But how do you get Smothers? If you put Casey Thompson on the big screen versus Logan Smothers, it's a different vibe. Fair?
In this world you speak of, where there's 20 businesses that are out there that are funding NIL for Nebraska, right? That's kind of what our world.
That's where we're going from. Yeah.
Let's say that again. I don't know how this works. I can't speak and say that I know that. Hey, this maybe one business wants to be the one that sponsors him. Like let's say it's like a Runza, for example. Does Runza want to say we want to be the ones that pay all of Casey Thompson's NIL money? They might be inclined to say, hey, you better play that guy. We're paying him big money. Do the businesses get in the way of the actual?
No, because they don't. They don't control any of that. The businesses
aren't going to.
But the businesses aren't going to have any say in that because the businesses aren't paying for that. They're just paying the player to use his image and his likeness. It's not. It's not about him
likeness
being a
goes
starter.
down if he's not starting.
Well, the
if
thing
he's
is
paying big money and he's not starting, that affects his image and likeness.
Well, the thing is, and it's kind of the same thing with this
devil's
person.
advocate over
What's
here.
kind of the same thing with this person on the text line that says, "What happens when a star player making that money puts in less work than those not making the money?" The thing is, those businesses can pull those. They can pull it. They don't have to pay the player. So when they're paying them for their image and their likeness, if that person ends up not being the starter, if that person puts in less work and ends up getting benched, those businesses can be like, you know what, we're done with this guy. We're going to go with this guy.
And here comes that player to wipe all his social media of anything Nebraska and make a deal like Deebo Samuel did yesterday with the Niners.
Bye.
Is that the world? You want that world? You want that? Is that attractive to you?
This is the world. What do you?
This world sucks.
No, Jake.
That's what it is right now.
Debo,
It was like that before NIL.
Kyler Murray crap. That stuff. It
was like that before NIL. Before they were getting paid, they were playing, and if they lost their spot and they wanted to transfer, they delete everything.
But pause. So the Miami Dolphins just brought in a player that you're very high on. You're very
Tyreek Hill.
Right. What has he done for the Dolphins so far?
Well, he's created buzz. Nothing yet, though.
But he created buzz.
Right.
So for
And
all
buzz
the
is
time,
great.
if all the time that Miami businesses now ante up because now they're excited again about the program, you just increased excitement and anticipation and awareness and branding for the team? Do we not understand the difference in the value in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a player that has proven it in the NFL, though. He has done it.
High school players have proven it. That's why you're recruiting them.
Yeah, but
remember,
but high school players end up being busts a lot.
You're recruiting. Remember, there's a difference between you paying somebody as a professional, and in this case, you're paying them. They have already done the work at high school for you to know who they are.
We have seen misevaluations all the time.
But that's the people who evaluate. That's not the that's not the talent.
Well, then there's like a wash there. Then
no.
I mean, look at those businesses.
You're asking professionals to be look. If I'm a pro scout, or if I'm a college scout or a recruiter, it's my job to know whether this kid's going to bust in my program or not. Like, everybody has a job and has access. If whoever's over in the building who says we want these 38 players to come join our program next year, they're accountable for making sure that those 38 don't bust.
Do something.
And remember, oh, by the way, you have a whole staff of coaches whose job is to get the best out of whatever you bring in. You have assistant coaches and coaches whose sole purpose, the only reason for them to be there, is to get the best out of the players that are put in front of them.
But that's separate from NIL, though.
Text line brought up a good point. What about Lexi's son?
She got a massive, my favor
but
here,
no, it's not. No. She got a massive NIL deal. She didn't play. She kept her NIL deal.
I like
Borsheims was still with her, and she was fine with it.
Feel about that?
They were fine with it.
Do you know that? Have you talked to her sponsors before?
Borsheims
they kept her on. To her sponsors and how they thought about that.
They kept her on.
They're still paying.
She's still sponsored.
I would like to
she
speak
still has
with
that
their
Lexi Sun
person
deal.
in charge and their thoughts.
You go to Borsheims, she's still got a picture there.
I'm just saying, I'd like to talk to her sponsors and see what they feel directly.
They're not
instead
doing
of assuming things on their behalf.
They're assuming because she was a star. She is a star. She didn't have to play.
They've made the statement that they are still in business with her. Isn't that
but
their
you
statement?
don't think they're disappointed by the fact she didn't play much this year?
I mean, they probably
she
were,
went
but
from an All-American to not playing at all much.
The difference, again, I'm fully capable of doing the business away from the field. The NIL deal is that's for name, image, and likeness, and that is not on the field because those sponsors can't be on the uniform. They can't be on the field. They can't be in the locker room. That's not how that works. You're talking about the value of this thing outside the game. Right? How it affects inside the game is you want better talent in the building. You want better talent in the program. That's what NIL will allow you to do, is to bring more talent and to cover some of those expenditures. So why would you not want to do that?
There are certainly some positives in NIL, but there are negatives, and people need to realize there are negatives. This is not a fully positive thing. There are everything in life has pros and cons, and there are plenty of cons to NIL.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not denying there's pros. There are pros, but I look at a place like, let's go to Iowa, for example. Iowa is not doing a lot of NIL. They don't do it. They took no transfers. They don't do NIL. They do it the Iowa way. The Nebraska way used to be the way that worked in Nebraska. They had a system. They did it. They don't need to be all flashy and up with the times because they were the times. And now you're trying to.
Say that again.
Nebraska was the times.
Okay, so the way they did business in 1971, 1980, right? Okay.
Right now they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and instead of like trying to, it's hard to put this into words, I guess. I mean,
they're not in the space with the Joneses. We're trying to get them in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But
why can Iowa have this success without doing NIL? They're not getting flashy players. They develop like crazy. They have a system that people buy into. They develop those people. They do a great job in the weight room, and they bring guys that are unheralded 3 stars, 2 stars, and make them
because it's
All-Americans.
Because it's working.
That's not
because it's working. What Nebraska was doing wasn't working, so they're trying to get something that'll work. And right now they see what's working at other programs, and they're trying to get there. What they were doing before, not being flashy, wasn't working. It works for Iowa. They can develop those guys. It works for them, and they're putting guys in the NFL. They're getting All-Americans. They're getting guys to do the Iowa
guys
way.
That want to beat Iowa because they like Iowa, not because there's a bunch of money there. They like it because they like the program. They like what they can get built into.
Well, then Nebraska. Well, then
they're
if people
not
don't,
getting paid.
If people,
there's no NIL in Iowa.
Well, then if people aren't coming to Nebraska because they don't like Nebraska, then Nebraska's got a bigger problem than NIL.
Hold on. So first of all, let's not put Iowa on the mountain.
Well, they won the Big Ten West last year. I got to give them that credit.
Put them on. We're talking about if you're talking about the business that's being done, or you're talking about the culture of the program. See, because the people don't want to be a part of Iowa's program.
I understand that, but they're still winning.
Is that not a statement of fact or no? That there are people leaving the program at Iowa.
There's people leaving Nebraska too.
But we're not, see, focus. If you bring Iowa into it, okay.
I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm giving you both sides.
You bring Iowa into this.
Bring me in. I'm going to give you all sides of the spectrum.
Which this is why I brought you in. I don't need for you to agree with me.
Jake's a circle
in this, right?
Jake's a circle. He's sitting it all.
No, but this is why. But what I love is when Jake gets his arms folded. Is that?
He said, "Wait a minute."
Right. Right. So this is from Mark Onweiler. According to the Cedar Rapids Gazette, which is funny, 10% of Iowa athletes seek out NIL deals, which they say is on par with all Power 5.
Let me ask you, Mark, who texted that in. What's the percentage that they're getting approved, that they're getting NIL deals? Tell me that.
So say it again.
He said 10% are seeking out deals. How many are actually attaining them? And is it mattering for Iowa's success?
Jake, there are two players. Let me give you this before I don't let you get out. But there are two players that I know on Iowa's roster, and you know why they're on the roster. You know why they're on?
Why is that, DP?
NIL deals. See, and the difference between them being at Iowa and anywhere else was the quality of the NIL deal that was in place for them. How's that?
They took no transfers, though.
He's got a point there.
They took no transfers.
That is hilarious.
Nebraska took, 10 transfers? Iowa says we're not taking any transfers.
That's because Iowa doesn't need any transfers. They have all their holes plugged. They're good.
Is that right? Do they?
I don't know.
Do they have all their holes plugged?
I'm not giving Iowa any credit.
I'm not going that far either.
Yeah, I'm not giving.
They got
Rico,
holes.
you can live. You can down that hill if you want to.
Look, if Nebraska took no transfers because they were sitting like Iowa, I'd be okay with it. But they need transfers because they've got things that they need filled.
I'd be disappointed if I was an Iowa fan and they did not bring in transfers. They're not that good. They're just not.
They have faith in the guys on their roster.
That's okay, but I'm all for it. Jakey, thank you.
Hey, you're welcome, guys.
Appreciate
I'm glad
it.
we can argue together and be friends still.
Yeah, we're gonna have beer later.
Yeah, we're gonna have lots of beer later. We talked about.
We really are. All right, guys.
At Barry's, come on by 3 to 8 today.
Yes, sir. That's Jake Sorensen. We're all
plugging all the time.
There we go. Keep it working.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's Favorites.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
The voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr.
Rhonda Revelle, especially when she has a good power hitter like Billy Andrews, she tends to hit him a little higher in the lineup. And we saw this some last year with Tristan Edwards. Teams were so locked in on pitching around her. Rhonda Revelle said, okay, well, if you're going to pitch around her, then you're going to start that first inning, beat off base runner. And also, Billy Andrews is a great athlete.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Windy conditions again today, but not quite as bad as yesterday. Northwest winds gusting over 35, close to 40 at times. Should top out near 51 with mainly sunny skies. Clear and chilly tonight, dropping to 25 for the low. A nice rebound tomorrow for your Saturday with a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606. or learn more at highelectric.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Great conversations in the last segment about NIL and deals and money and sports and fun here on Old School 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
As the song says, where the hood at? Where the hood at? Let me say this about NIL and the people, the players that I've been around, the players that I've coached, the families that I've been around, etc. So I've coached at really rich schools and really poor schools. Been around really rich families and really poor families. Mm-hmm. I will speak from my own experience. Recruited in 3 sports at different levels. So none the same. Right? None were at the same level. Probably more at baseball than football was more across the board, but it was mainly HBCUs, right? Which I'm not going to devalue at all in this conversation. Baseball more
high level.
Track because of legacy. My brother, I was a pretty good AA junior national long jumper and sprinter. Those things were in place, and I put that thing down. But what I would say to them is this, that there are people in different situations, and this is how NIL impacts. That if you were an athlete, listener, if you were an athlete of recruitable range and all things made equal, somebody came to you and said, you're good enough to play for me, and we want to help take care of your family, because that's where that is. There are people that don't need the help for the family. Mm-hmm. They don't need it. Like John Cooper, the kids down there, they're all their parents are millionaires. They could all write their own checks. They don't care. As a matter of fact, they prefer to. Mm-hmm. That's their own deal. Falls Church, not quite the same, right? That those kids needed the financial help in order to go to college. I know I could not have gone to college out of pocket. So whoever approached me to play sports for them, a lot of the sell was, we're going to take care of you, which removed a burden on my family, on my parents. My parents were no longer going to have to buy me lunch, buy me clothes, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But if somebody had come to me, so let's fast track this to 2021, or 22, that if somebody came to me or comes to one of my players and says, you are good enough to play for me, and so much so that we want to help take some of the burden off so that you can relax and play. right? A lot of the burden is when you carry, you worry. Am I going to flunk out? How am I going to pay for these things? I don't fit in. I don't have the clothes I don't have a car. I don't have money in my bank account. I can't take my girl out to eat, et cetera, all those things.
Yeah.
And we're going to take care of that, right? So for whatever that number is, and say, listen, you need a car, you deserve a car, whatever that is. And if they had bought me a $2,000 used car in 1980, I would have been the happiest kid in America. If you say to me that I could help my mom pay her mortgage and to pay her electric bill and to buy groceries for the rest of my family, to buy clothes for the rest of my family so that we don't look like paupers, that stuff matters. And there are a lot of people who are talking about it as though they just have never once thought and considered what NIL does for those families.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to a family and you're going to talk to the young man or the young woman and their parents or parent, single, and say, listen, all things aside, the education matters, right? Because it's a change of level and elevation,
Big
right?
deal.
Location and elevation changes,
Student athlete.
right? Student athlete changes your place in this country and in the community. Like, we know that. And then we're going to give you additional exposure through your work. Now, you've already done the work. That's why we're sitting in your living room.
Yeah.
Like, if you came when University of Ohio comes to my house in Virginia, I had to put in some work to get them to my house. I've already done that.
Yeah.
Right? So let's not act like this is brand new. The things that were offered to me, there was cash offered to me. And then, now, granted, there was cash offered to me once I got there, which I was fully appreciative of, because when you sit in a dorm room in Richmond, Virginia, and you're waiting for that $20 money order to show up from mom, then you appreciated how much that $20 money order meant, because I know what work she had to do to have $20 extra to send to me. Even though I knew where my meals were going to come, she knew that there were other things that needed to be in place, right? Spikes, workout gear, like that sort of, she understood. Medicine if I needed it, right? NIL changes lives. It changes lives. And because it isn't affecting you or convenient to you, don't miss that if you go around America, there are a lot of kids being recruited who don't have. And I'm talking about kids who don't know where the next meal's coming, let alone where they're going to get what, they want a nice pair of tennis shoes or a pair of jeans that they can look nice in, or whatever that is. So through all of it, what NIL does now is for the immediate change of situation and circumstance for some of these student athletes. Immediate. Think of poor kids around America who play sports, and this is their way out of their neighborhood, out of their situation, changes their families' lives, right? Because we see draft day, and we understand that every draft day, it is the changing of lives. Well, NIL is the same thing in a more focused and concentrated space, and it allows, think of the kids who come here and tell you, hey, man, this is different, man. I get to eat here. I get fed here.
I know where my meals are coming from every day.
Right? That's what it is. And I think Nebraska has an opportunity to do something special if they get on the same page and then turn the focus towards taking care of the people that need to be taking care of this thing, so that the programs can then become what they are. Because people don't fail because of talent. They fail because of stress, depression, lack of, and other. And nothing takes away the focus of a student athlete like not having money. I'm just saying. I want to read this from Barry Thompson because I think it's
Can you read it in the next segment?
I absolutely can.
All right, we're going to head to break. We'll go to our last segment right up next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The spring game weekend doesn't just stop on Saturday. Make plans to stop by the Husker Sports Memorabilia Show on Sunday at Superior Bingo Hall on 48th Street. The show goes from 9 to 5 on Sunday with Heisman winner Mike Rozier and current Husker football players signing autographs from noon to 2. There's tons of Husker items to buy as we wrap up spring football and head into the offseason. It's the Husker Sports Memorabilia Show from 9 to 5 on Sunday at Superior Bingo Hall on 48th Street.
Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Windy conditions again today, but not quite as bad as yesterday. Northwest winds gusting over 35, close to 40 at times. Should top out near 51 with mainly sunny skies. Clear and chilly tonight, dropping to 25 for the low. A nice rebound tomorrow for your Saturday with a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo Promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Have you ever wanted to build a catapult? Have you ever wanted to launch something other than water balloons with a water balloon launcher? Do you want to be a national champion? Then you need to get a team and sign up for the National Avocado Launching Championship, May 21st in North Platte. That's right, the National Avocado Launching Championship is taking place right here in Nebraska. Launch avocados for fame and glory. Sign up at avocadolaunching.com. That is avocadolaunching.com. And remember, the top prize is $5,000.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment of Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. DP has something to read.
Well, first I want to say Rico is talking about milk and Coke together. So we'll talk about it at 10 o'clock. We'll talk about it at 10 o'clock because we need more time for it.
Whatever.
And then do we know the words to this song?
It's been a while since I've heard this song.
We need to figure that out. Of course, Barry Thompson, who is kind of I bounce ideas off of, and he is really good at responding. He said this thing. It's not just dollars. It's a package that outlines a path to financial security where the program or the player succeeds. This would include insurance, real estate, employment opportunities, and believe it or not, education. Do that, and Nebraska can compete with anyone because while others are talking about money, Nebraska is talking about life. And as I said in the last segment, NIL has the ability, and it almost has the responsibility to change life. How you living it currently. How you're living it currently. And they're talking, I mean, just to understand, there are players on this Nebraska roster and players who were on this roster, who were on the roster, who aren't on the roster now, that if you had gone out and above and done the little thing for them, it would have been made a difference between them being a role player and them being a star, or them being a transfer and them being current.
Some of the stuff that they stress about and some of the stuff that they try to take care of or get taken care of for themselves and for their family does take away some of the energy that they can exert on the field, some of the time that they can put forward to watching film and learning new things, because they have to do other things in order to keep themselves going, to help their family out, to keep them going as well.
It was in a statement of absolute truth. We were playing against Christopher Newport University, and I hit my first college home run. And when I got back to the dorms, there were several envelopes sitting on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we had team sisters who would take care of our homework, take care of our laundry, take care of our meals and such when we were on the road. And so that when we got back, we could get into it. Again, removing of stress, removing of certain things. And in those envelopes were, this was for hitting home run. Now, you would think that we would party, right?
You would, yeah. You hit your first home run, you got a little bit,
But what I understood was my family needed that money as much as I did because of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent that money home to my mother. And she called and she cried and she was like, I said, because I'm paying you back for all the $20 that you sent me over the course, because I played summer ball. So, those 3 months before that, and then the 3 months after that for those 6 months, 7 months, Mom had been sending, $20. There were times when she would just send the $20 bill and hope it arrived because she didn't want to waste the extra money on fees for money orders. That's real talk.
Yeah.
And there were also times when I helped teammates. I paid bills for teammates. I bought bus tickets for teammates so they could get home because they didn't have the money. So NIL, for all the talking points, don't forget the humanity behind the talking point. Understand what NIL is supposed to do, which is to create better situations and circumstances for student athletes.
Yeah.
Don't get into your narrative and nope. What I'm going to tell you is that you have the opportunity to change. Nebraska has a wonderful opportunity to change the lives of its student athletes by being proactive and being thoughtful in how they move forward with this NIL thing. That's the whole purpose behind the conversation. And then we can get into what it could actually do for the programs themselves, because that's a whole different conversation that we need to have.
If you start with what you should be doing, then you could get into what you want to be doing.
And that's what I'm trying to find out, is what should we be doing? We thank you folks for all the texts. It's exceptional. I don't go anywhere. One-on-one, I may talk about this some more. I don't know. We'll see. You guys let me know.
Here's today's spent